Hey, Professor, how are you? I hope that you are able to stay safe and keep busy during this time of crisis, as being stocked up can get very boring and whatnot. So, I'm Gavin Wilson, and my major is business, and I'm looking in the future to go into a focus of fintech. Um, so, for my project, I did CTE in the NFL. And the reason I focused in on the NFL is because CTE is developed over time of constant banging and collisions of the head. So the brain is constantly taking trauma. And in football, heads are colliding on every play. There's big hits and whatnot. And it is very prevalent in the NFL. So this is why I decided to focus in on the NFL and not just sports in general. I've been a big football fan forever, so it made it very easy to do CTE, as this is a very prevalent disease in the NFL that is turning a lot of heads. I want to look to decrease CTE and also make people more knowledgeable about the issue at hand, and also how to prevent CTE. So far, what I've been doing for my project is I've been looking to an old English teacher who lives down the street from me. She's been editing my work so far, looking over all my things, just because I can't be in the library and in the writing center. So this is almost like my own writing center. I've really been affected because if I wasn't, I'd be in the library looking at different books and whatnot and using the writing center. Although I have been able to make almost my own writing center, I have not been able to get in the library and use as many books as I would like to have. So I've been mainly looking at online databases and NGIT database and Scopus in Pacific to help me with my research. CTE obviously is developed after the constant colliding of heads. And, concussions also play a big part in this. When you get a concussion, your brain is damaged, and a lot of the time, this is going to lead to CTE. So CTE, you do not need to get a concussion, but concussions do lead to it. So the constant banging on every play in football does lead to CTE. And this is shown, I use this in my paper as a staggering statistic, because I feel like this really shows people like the seriousness of this disease. Is that scientists did a research on 111 brains that were former NFL players, and out of the 111, 110 of them tested positive for CTE, which is very staggering, as this can even be a deadly disease, as it affects different things like behavior, mood swings, and whatnot. And this can also lead to suicide in junior stay-out. And also I get into junior stay-out and Aaron Hernandez in my paper, and you saw serious behavior changes in Aaron Hernandez. I'm not at all giving him excuses for what he did, but in this diagram, so right here is a normal 27-year-old's brain, and then right here is Aaron Hernandez. So you could see the enlargement right here, and around the constant outside, you see how this is almost like a perfect semicircle, and you see how this dips in. This is from constant banging on the head. And right in the front left is made with decision making and whatnot, and you could see how deformed his is. And in Junior Seau's case, he committed suicide, and Aaron Hernandez also committed suicide. They also, some big things that I found when doing research is that so right now in CTE, you can only test for it when the person has passed away and is dead. Scientists go in and take apart their brain. But with new research, there's chance that I get into in my paper that you're able to look into and test positive for CTE in people still living. So this is big because then you can start helping and finding other ways to decrease and whatnot and help out patients that are still alive. Because these people that are still alive suffering from CTE are suffering every day from things such as headaches, constant pounding, is not very pleasant disease. And then another thing that I also found that is big is that scientists have looked into low intensity pulsated ultrasounds. And so this is going to be able to help prevent CTE. And what I mean by this is, so after colliding heads or suffering a head injury, they can expose you to these low ultrasound waves, and this can help prevent CTE and head injury. This is used in early repair of broken bones and fractures to help the patient recover. So this would be very huge, because after things like if a player suffers a concussion and goes out to play, his recovery time can even double from what it originally would have been if he just got out. And more importantly, more brain damage can be done, because what happens when you get a concussion is your brain hits the inside of your skull, bruising the brain. And when the brain needs time to recover, and when you don't give it that and you give it another pounding, then it gets worse, and sometimes irrecoverably. So it's very big things. So thank you for your time. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.